Hello and welcome to another episode of the Real Estate Investing Club. I'm your host, Gabe Peterson, and this is the place investors go to gain actionable advice, learn about current market trends, and hear war stories from other professional investors out there in the field today. Before we get started, I have two quick housekeeping items for you. First, if you like this episode, we would very much appreciate a like, subscribe, and share. It is the best way to support the show and keep it running far into the future. Second, if you're a new investor looking to get started in real estate or an experienced investor looking to take your investing to the next level, I've created an ebook just for you that will cover how to find deals that are actually deals, how to finance those deals with little to no money down, and how to exit those deals for maximum value. On top of that, I throw in an insane amount of free bonuses that you'll have access to once you buy the ebook. All I charge is our admin costs to keep this show running. So if you're serious about real estate investing and want to create both active and passive income as an investor, head on over to the website at therealestateinvestingclub.com and click on the button that says get the ebook in the upper right-hand corner to grab yourself a copy. With that said, let's dive right in. Today we have a very special guest with us, ready to drop some investor knowledge on you. So buckle up, grab your pen and paper, and enjoy the ride. All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Real Estate Investing Club. Today we have Neil Schoepp with us. Neil is a retired New York City police officer and fireman, co-founder of Kids Play Today, and a multifamily investor, which is why we have him here. Neil, thank you very much for hopping on the show.
Gabe, it's great to be here. I'm hoping to add a lot of value to you and all your listeners.
Absolutely. So I told you before we got on here, we always start with stories. We like to hear how people got from point A to point B. So what's your story? How'd you get started in real estate?
How I got started in real estate was I wanted out of the W-2. When I was a kid, my father said to me, listen, go to work for the city. You'll never become rich, but you'll always be able to take care of the family. And that's exactly what I did. I went to work for New York City. I was a police officer and a fireman for 24 years. And though I was able to take care of the family, I never really had that financial independence. So I started looking for something that would offer me that independence, and real estate turned out to be that vehicle. I started out with a couple of single families, duplex, and now I moved into multifamily.
Perfect. I love it. So you said 24 years in as a fireman, police officer?
Yes.
Wow, that is
24 years down in the city. Yeah.
Especially in New York. That's obviously I'm just using my own stereotypes here, but that sounds like quite an experience to have gone through something like that.
You know what? Though I transferred out of that W-2, I transitioned out of that W-2 into real estate, I would not give up those 24 years.
Absolutely.
Those 24 years really taught me a lot about people, about life. It was extremely valuable to where I am now. So the journey, everybody looks to rush. Don't rush. Just let it kind of happen. Go with it. Learn from it. And use that to propel you forward.
Yep. I was going to say, I bet you that that really helps you in real estate because it helps you keep a level head, especially when you're, in negotiations, trying to take a property down. Emotions are running high, and in that situation, with all the work experience you've had, I'm sure you're able to kind of keep your head level and make a wise decision in that situation.
It does help you with emotions, right? Like every transaction, every deal you look at, it helps me keep my emotions in check, purely because in the past, if I lost control of my emotions, it didn't help the situation at all. It would actually make the situation worse. So now, fast forward 20 years, and now you're in real estate, you're at the table, and you're much more able to kind of keep that level heel, and you don't fly off the handle immediately. You kind of become aware that that feeling and emotion is conjuring up, and you're able to nix it before it comes out most of the time, not all the time.
Yep, absolutely. Especially in, negotiations, even in property management. It's really easy to get, extra mad at some of the dumb things that happen at your property. So I'm sure that helps you a lot. So let's just kind of go into your history. You said you started in single family and then you went into multifamily. So how did that progression start? What got you to that first purchase, that first single family purchase?
So the first single family purchase purely came from, I remodeled my mom's house, and I saw where the house was, because I grew up New York City. I don't have a very strong financial background. We're in New York City. The house was 100 years old.
Oh, wow.
The house was passed down. Family, like my grandparents passed it down to my parents, and now my parents were in their 60s, 70s, and I decided that I was going to remodel the house for my mom.
Okay.
And then I saw kind of like that flip, right? We took the house from where it was to where it is. And I'm like, you know what? If we would have invested the money into a property and we could rent it out to somebody, like they're going to be paying the mortgage. When I first came upon that idea of somebody else paying down the mortgage, I was like, this is amazing. So I could have taken that money, purchased a house right next door to us, remodeled that house, and then used that money to remodel this house. That didn't happen. I mean, I used the money to remodel my house, but that was the kicking off point of, all right, we're going to build a pool of money. We're going to buy a house. We're going to remodel that house. And then somebody else is going to take on essentially the expenses of that, right?
Yep. The seed was set. It really is. Everybody, I feel like every investor, they kind of have that light bulb moment where they're going through their life and then somehow they realize all the different ways that a rental property benefits you. I mean, tax benefit or the tax benefits, cash flow, mortgage pay down, all those different elements of growing your wealth egg. And so it sounds like you had that light bulb moment as well. How did you get from, you rehabbed your grandma or your parents' house, you started in buying other single family properties. How did you get into multifamily? How did you take that step?
Economies of scale. That's really the answer. The way it happened for me was I was continuing to grow. I was continuing to research. I was continuing to read. And when I was exposed, because single family is easy, right? We all know it. We know what we all have lived in a house. We own a house, like we're comfortable there. So as I explored further out, I was exposed to multifamily. And when I was exposed to multifamily and the concept of economies of scale, it was an absolute no-brainer. I will tell you that single-handedly, the biggest thing I like about multifamily, and when I say multifamily, I'm really talking 5+ units on the commercial side, is the control I have over that property. And once I learned about that control and how you can literally, print money, right? Like you buy a property, you add the value to that property, and then that property is worth more later on. Once I learned that concept, this is where you got to be. You have to be here. There's no other place.
Yep, absolutely. And that applies to pretty much any commercial asset out there. I mean, I do self-storage facilities and mobile home parks.
Yes.
The same thing applies there. You find something that needs some love, you give it that love, and then you benefit from the value that you added to the property. It's a tried and true model, and it works so well. And it sounds like you enjoy it as well.
Money may not grow on trees, but it sure does grow on properties. Any property you have, you can do it, right? Mobile home parks. I have a buddy of mine that has over 1,000 doors.
Oh, wow.
Or pads, right? 1,000 pads. And he does the same thing. He was one of the guys that exposed me to the mobile home park segment of real estate. And it doesn't matter what vehicle you use. It's kind of the same concept, different nuances, but the same concept.
So yeah, that's actually what I was going to ask next is why did you decide to go down multifamily? Have you considered other commercial assets, or was multifamily always the one? And if so, what about multifamily were you most excited about?
It was tangible.
Mm.
I could actually, like, there was actually something there, right? In mobile home parks, I really like mobile home parks also. I don't have any in my portfolio, but I really like the concept of mobile home parks. But it's just not as tangible as multifamily is to me.
Yep. No structure.
So that's why I like multifamily. It's really, it's what I learned first, and I think it was something that I learned first, and that's the road I ran down.
Makes sense. If something's working, you don't you keep going.
Yes.
You don't break it.
And at some point, you have to stop chasing shiny objects.
Yeah.
Right, shiny object syndrome. You have to stop chasing them, and put all of your energy and your focus on one thing. Accomplish that one thing, and then you can go chase shiny objects if you so please.
I think that is actually that is the number one thing that I struggle with is shiny object syndrome. I constantly have different ideas on things to do, different asset classes that I want to chase down, but I each time I go down that path, I'm like, Gabe, this is not a good decision. You should just focus on what you're doing right now, get better at it, and benefit from it. So I like that. That is a really good piece of wisdom. So when you're going down multifamily, you were in single family, going into multi. How do you actually find your deals? What's your main method of acquiring new deals?
So I have built a list. I go direct to seller.
Okay. Off market.
I have built my list. I drive my market. I stop and talk to individuals, and that just eventually that leads somewhere. I really do look to go out and build relationships with people so that I become first of mind if they hear of anything.
Yep.
Then it kind of funnels back to me, and enjoying that process of building those relationships. Because honestly, like, it's really great if something comes back to me in the form of a property, but that's not why I'm building that relationship. I'm building that relationship because I want to hear your story. I want to hear your adventure. I want to get to know you as a person. And that's really how I do it. Everybody has their own way. That's kind of how I do it.
And people are endlessly interesting, so it makes it easy.
Yeah, I stopped the guy once. He was mowing the lawn, right? And you stop, talk to him. Lawn looks really nice. You're doing a really good job out here. Have you thought about taking on more clients? Right? I'd like to get to know you, get your contact information. If somebody comes to me and needs a landscaper, I can now make that referral fee. And it turns out that he's the property owner.
And you never know when something like that's going to happen.
Right. And now, how did I meet that property owner? I met him looking to add value to his landscaping business. I didn't meet him with the motive of buying his property. So he got to know me right there. That told him what type of individual I am.
Yep.
That just goes a long way.
Absolutely.
That's like my core value. It's just how I am.
It's amazing, and it works too. I mean, it works in the sense that it should work. When you're helping people, things come back to you. You don't. The more you give, the more you get. That's just how life works, and it's beautiful that it works that way because it helps everybody out.
Huge paradigm shift for me, Gabe. Again, born and raised in New York City. Everybody has an angle. Nobody's your friend. Everybody's looking to scam you. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. This is what I was exposed to.
Yeah.
And then I become a cop, and everybody, like, nobody calls a cop because it's Christmas time and they want to give away presents, right? They call in a cop because something happened to them. And now I'm seeing it firsthand.
Yep.
Lottery ticket scams, taking advantage of the elderly. And everything that I heard is now coming true. So it was a huge paradigm shift for me to go from that to, wow, like, actually adding value really does work. There are good people. People want to collaborate. People want to help each other. People want to see you become successful.
Yep.
That was a huge paradigm shift for me.
Yep.
Coming out of that world.
And the only way to really battle, to really fight that kind of cynical mindset, which can very easily set in because, you know, bad things do happen out there on a daily basis. And if you focus on that, your world becomes that kind of cynical viewpoint. The only way to fight it is for you yourself to go out and do good and see that good can be done and that it benefits other people. And so I love that. I love that you use that kind of as your networking marketing method in real estate.
So it's proximity to, Gabe, for me at least. So one of the strategies I used was proximity. So me just sitting here on this call with you, you're an individual that he's a good individual. He's out there adding value to people's lives. I'm seeing that it actually works. I'm adding value to people's lives. When you step into a room and you see people that are crushing it in real estate, you're like, oh, real estate isn't all about tenants and toilets, right? If that's what everybody thinks, oh, you don't have to be a slumlord. But that's what everybody thinks. So when you're around those individuals that are doing it, that just tears down all sorts of walls.
Yep, absolutely. If you surround yourself with people who are doing what you want to be doing, then you become that thing. And that is advice that I've always taken to heart for sure. So before I just took a look at the clock. It looks like we have gone through our section, but before we jump into the quick question round, I did want to ask, you know, for people just starting out in multifamily, what is a piece of advice that you'd like to give them?
Piece of advice starting out in multifamily. Focus on one market. Get to know that market cold. So what's the absorption rate? What are the rents? What are properties selling for per door, per square foot? What are the rents per square foot? Get to really know the market intimately. The other thing I would say is go out there and surround yourself with people that are probably, let's say, 2 to 5 years ahead of you. This way, when you hit that roadblock, because you're going to hit the roadblock, when you hit that roadblock, you can reach out to them and they can guide you around that road.
Perfect. I love it. All right, Neil, that was great advice. Thank you very much. It is now time to jump in the quick question round. Are you ready?
Absolutely. Let's go.
All right. It starts with books because I'm a big bookie. So why don't you give me 2 book recommendations, one for general life wisdom and one for real estate specific?
General Life, Energy Leadership by Bruce Schneider. It's a book about how you perceive things that happen and your perception of what's happening around you. Life doesn't happen to you, life happens for you. The real estate side, so I love wheelbarrow profits. I'm a wheelbarrow profit guy. Let me just throw that out there right now.
Yeah, I had them on the podcast.
But I love the wheelbarrow profits. They're very authentic and very down to earth.
Yep.
If you're going into syndication, if you want to study the syndication side of things, I really like Joe Fairless' book.
The best rental or the best real estate book ever, or something like that.
Best ever apartment syndication book.
There we go.
Joe Fairless. If you're looking at the syndication side of things.
Perfect. All right. Great recommendations. Moving on. This one is for, let's see, your younger self. So if you could go to the Neil who had 0 experience in real estate, he was still a fireman, still a police officer. Go to him, look him in the eye, give him one piece of advice moving forward.
Mindset. Strengthen your mindset. I think mindset is being open to those paradigm shifts and being open to proximity. Go out and meet people. I don't like using the word networking. I think networking has negative connotations. But go out and make friends with people.
I like that. And I agree with you on the networking word. I've never liked it. But it's the act of just meeting people and making friends. that works. And that is what networking is. Just the word networking just rubs me the wrong way. I don't know why.
I'm here to make a friend with you, right, Gabe? Like I want to be your friend. It doesn't matter what you're going to give to me. In networking, it looks like people are always trying to get something from somebody else. No, I'm here to offer whatever I can for you.
Yep. On that note, habits are the foundation of our life. So if you could point to one thing that you do day in and day out that contribute the most to your overall health, well-being, and happiness, what would that thing be?
This is a great question. So I don't think it really matters on what the habit is per se. I'll give you one of my habits, but I don't think it really matters what the habit is. I think that it's consistency in what you're doing.
Yep.
So taking that consistent action, I guess taking consistent action is the habit. Just little bites at a time and just moving one tiny step forward.
Yep.
Each and every day will get you to the end.
And that goes back to what you said earlier, is that you need to focus. If you have shiny object syndrome and you're going left and right and up and down, then you're not being consistent in one direction. The more you can be consistent in the same direction every day, the more success you'll have. So that is great advice. And that brings us to the next question, which is a little opportunity for you to brag a bit, because we all have specific strengths. We are all here. We give our strengths to the world. You are no exception. So if you could point to one thing that you feel is your Superman strength, what would that be?
Mindset.
Mindset.
It was, mindset's what propelled me to make all of the paradigm shifts I needed to make out of that W-2. When I came out of the W-2, I knew that I wanted to help people. I spent 25 years of my life helping people. I wanted to continue to help people. I didn't know exactly how. And again, I came from the city. Everybody has an angle. No, not everybody. So building that strong mindset and coming back and learning what your values are, what your core values are, all of that stuff, that personal development stuff, makes you the strong individual so that you can blaze the path yourself, so that when other people are telling you you're out of your mind, you know you're not, and you can persevere through that.
Perfect. I love it. All right. This is the second to last question, and it is about the United States, because there are so many different opportunities out there and different locations to invest in. So if you could point to one metro that you are most excited about, what would that be?
One metro. I'm going to say something a little contradictory to general philosophy. I like smaller tertiary markets.
Okay.
I think they have the most opportunity right now. Yeah. But when the market, you really have to know, going back to knowing your market intimately, you have to know that market, because you have to be able to read the signs of when that market's turning so that you can adjust what you do. So I like the smaller tertiary markets.
Perfect. And I'm right there with you. I bought in fact 3 of my 4 self-storage facilities are in tertiary markets. So I'm right there with you. Love it. All right, and that leads us to the very last question. This one is for the listeners, because you've given us so much good advice. I'm sure people out there want to reach out and say hi. So what is the best way for them to get in contact with you?
You can message me on Facebook. So just Neil, Neil, Schoepp, Schoepp, Peter. And you can shoot me an email, neil@neilschoepp.com. Those are the 2 best ways of reaching out to me. I love talking real estate. I love talking mindset. I love just helping people get unstuck and kind of just nudging them in the right direction. All
right. And so that is neilschoepp.com. I will put that URL in the show notes. And it's SCHOEPP. If you're questioning how to spell that one, I'll put the URL in the show notes. So just click a little more in the description. It will pull down the full description, and in there you can find Neil's URL. Reach out and say hi. So Neil, again,
yeah, I'm sorry, Gabe. I didn't mean to cut you off. I wrote a small booklet that I put on that website, and that booklet is specifically talks about breaking through your fears, and some strategies that I still use and I've learned through my course of being a cop and a fireman. And I think people are going to get a lot of value out of that. It's a free download. Just enter in your email. It's a free download. There's no sales clicking after that. It's not a funnel so that all of a sudden you enter your email in and now you get like, oh, for an extra $19.95. There's none of that. It's straight up adding value to you and me wanting to see you absolutely crush your life.
Perfect. I love that. And that's a good topic. Overcoming fear is always a difficult thing. And so any motivation you can get in that direction, I'm sure is worth it. So if you guys want to grab that book, check out neilschoepp.com. Again, that'll be in the show notes below. So just click through that link and grab that book. So again, Neil, thank you very much for hopping on the show. It's been a pleasure having you here.
Gabe, it was a pleasure being here. I just want to leave your listeners with the knowledge that they have the power to change the direction of their life. It's based on the choices they make. Just change one choice you make, and that can change the trajectory of where you're going.
Absolutely.
And it's absolutely possible to do.
And they couldn't have said it any better myself. So we're going to leave it with that. You guys, if you have any questions whatsoever, reach out to me, Gabe at therealestateinvestingclub.com. Other than that, I hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic week. Keep rocking real estate and look out for your mindset. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Real Estate Investing Club. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode as much as I enjoyed putting it on, and we're able to pull some actionable advice that you can apply in your own investing today in the field. Before you go, we have a gift for you. If you're a new investor looking to get started or an established investor looking to take your investing to the next level, I've created an ebook just for you, available on our website. This ebook will cover how I was able to create both active and passive income in real estate with very little money to start with. In it, I will address the 3 most often cited obstacles new and veteran investors run into by showing you how to find deals that are actually deals, how to finance a deal with little to no money down, and how to exit those deals for maximum value. And if you get the ebook today, I am throwing in a bundle of bonuses, 7 of them to be exact. The first one will be the off-market lead generation blueprint, which will take you through the exact systems and processes we use to generate off-market leads like clockwork, which is the most important skill when it comes to creating wealth in real estate. The second bonus is the A to Z REI systems and vendors guide, which will allow you to peek under the hood of our business and see the exact tools, systems, and even the vendors we use to see the success that we do. And the third bonus is the top 100 best performing keywords pack, which will give you the exact keywords we use to target motivated sellers online using PPC ads. The fourth bonus is our contracts bundle for wholesaling and renting real estate, which will give you access to all the contracts we use in the field to execute all different types of transactions. After that is the Investors Quick Analysis Calculator and Offer Tool, which will allow you to quickly calculate whether a deal is an actual deal and will allow you to create an offer automatically from those calculations. This is a lot of bonuses that I said. I'm just going to keep going down the list. Number 6 is the Investors Daily Success Tracker, which is a tracker you can use to ensure you are taking the right actions day in and day out to reach your financial goals in real estate. And the last bonus is the Wholesalers Template for Quick Assignment Cash, which will give you the templates we use to present our wholesale deals professionally and efficiently to our buyers. Whew, that is a bundle. So it's a mouthful. You get all of those bonuses for free when you download the ebook. All we charge is the admin cost to run the show. So if you're interested in the ebook and the bonus bundle, head on over to the website at therealestateinvestingclub.com. Click on Get the Ebook Bundle at the top of the page to take advantage of that deal. And with that said, I hope you have a fantastic day, an even better week. Keep rocking real estate, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.